Hello guys, I am back with something just fun to do. I don't know if you guys have ever taken a composition book, like you can get them at Walmart for like 98 cents, and you can get them like at Dollar Tree for $1. So this is just one of the books you always see around school starting, and just something to take notes in or whatever. So I thought it would be fun to decorate one of these a little more elaborate than what we would, just, using it like that. So just a little exciting. This is the one I made. And then I thought, after I made it, I think my subbies would like to see how I did this. Now, I will tell you, because this is a composition book that's 99 cents or $1, the measurements on it are different. Anywhere you put a piece of paper, you measure first. So no two books are the same. I've discovered that. And so you measure. I can't give you measurements because both the books that I've worked on were not the same. So, and you can use double-sided tape. You can use your Fabri-Tac. You choose. You just want to make sure that you get around the edges so that you don't have stuff sticking out where you're handling things. But first I'm going to show you how this turned out and show you how you can take a paper pad that has matching type sheets and maybe different colors and do it like that. That's what I did with this. Or you can just do random colors and do it like the rainbow. I don't know. Any way you want to do it is basically what I'm saying. So here on the front, I put a whole piece of this paper right here on the front. And don't use a corner rounder because it will not fit. So you need to trim that with your scissors. Now I made mistakes on this. Like, for instance, if you can see real close right there, there's a little bitty gap that shows. Yeah, I could have put a strip there, but it's not that big a deal. It's not like it's going to be an overly important book. If you have a desk at work, it's a pretty thing to put on your desk. And I did pop up the saying, and this one says, "Where flowers grows, so does beauty." And I thought that was cool. And because the band over here is black, I put a pop of black under this so that it would stand out and look separate. Plus, I put it up on some adhesive. Okay. Foam tape. And then I did a strip, which is like, I think like 2.5 inches or 2.5 inches. And then I of a rose gold. This has rose gold in it. Rose gold alpha type thing. And then I did the peach with little teensy tiny plus signs on it. And then I ran the script, the rose gold script, back through and did it on my Creative Memories punch. And so this is the first time I've used this punch, and I thought it turned out really well. You want your paper to be the exact length that you need the flowers to be. Okay, so let's go in and see what we can find out. Oh, and also I want you to notice the tabs. You can do as many tabs as you want. I decided 3 was plenty. Okay, so here we go. Let's just go in and see what we got going on. Okay, so I'm going to show you this, and then we're going to put one together. Now, I have not checked my pocket here to make sure there's nothing stuck. I always like to put my scissors back down in there gently so I know something. I only put one pocket in this book. So I covered all the cover, front and back of the covers, okay? and then I will show you what I did from there. But I covered this inside and also the back side with a stripe so that you could journal on there, and with a decoration as well. And over here I did the same thing. Okay, and then I made a pocket out of a piece of scrap of it was the top part of that, and made a pocket. And you know how we do pockets where you score and fold them, and for journaling, that's what I did. On the very back I have this beautiful script. It's so pretty. Okay, now we're going to the inside of the book, and I'm going to show you what I did here. I took, see how this page is got this red line? When I saw the person do this, they said anything to the left of the red line is no man's land. No man's land. So we're only going to cut the paper from this line to the outside and from the top to the bottom. And this is going to be white. So the margin, inside the margin, will not be covered. See, here you can see that I did not cover inside the margin. And again, even the paper is not consistent with measurements. So measure every one you do. So we're going to take 2 sheets of paper, which are the first 2 sheets of paper, and glue them together. So it makes it a little heavier through here, because you know. And then we're going to cut from the margin to the outside and from the top to the bottom, and make a piece of scrapbook paper that big. Okay. And then I just added one of the journaling cards up here that says beautiful day, because I felt like it needed something just to decorate it. And then I made tabs with my tab punch. This is by We Are Memory Keepers. Okay, if I can get it to, now it's wanting to pop out of there. What is up with it? I tell you, scrapbooking stuff can drive you crazy sometimes, right? Okay, so that's the first one. Then you flip it over, and on that very same page, you do the back the same way. See, you don't do it in the margin, you just do it from the line over. And then that's your first, it's kind of like a divider page, you know? It's part of your divider. Then all these papers from their back are all papers that go under this tab. And then you'll get to, you divide the papers out yourself as to how many you want in each divider. This is the next divider. I did 3 dividers. So right here I did this peach with the little tiny cross or plus sign. And it says, today I'm excited about everything. I wished I had a day like that. That I could honestly say I'm excited about everything. But anyway, and then I have a tab here that matches this floral, just to kind of bring them together. And this was a fun book to do. And it does take some time. And I didn't realize that I was making the same tab to go on this, but I just said, go with it. I don't care. So from the line over, and so this is the 2 here. Then we have one more divider, which is back this way. And I did it with the peach stripe. It says, you are perfect. You are the perfect type of beautiful. And then I used the text on the tab. And on the back side, we've got this really cool peach and green. It's got birds and flowers. And I just ended up, it does take, you know, a sheet of paper for each part. So, for instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you're going to use 10 sheets of paper, because each section is more than 6 inches wide. So you want to make sure, you know, everything fits. This is real sturdy here, so I don't do anything with that because I feel like it it speaks for itself. You can see here again where I slightly got my measurements off. I'll tell you, I even pulled out another sheet and tried cutting something better, and I was like, I'm not wasting any more paper. I'll get it as close as I can. So, and the thing is it's not noticeable. And so, yeah. So that is my composition book decorated. Now, I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to show you what we did. Now, we are not going to cut on this book. I've already pre-cut everything. I'm not going to ink anything. You can ink if you would like. But the reason I did that was the measurements are so different that I wanted to make sure I got everything as close to right as I could. So, there's a lot of steps. Not a lot, but I put my papers all in order from the front to the back because they are different measurements. And I write after I cut them. Well, I didn't on that one, but I wrote after I cut them. I wrote where they go. Okay, because you'll lose track if you don't have the answer to that. I don't know why I grabbed this one. I've already got one over here. Oh, what can I say? What can I say? Okay, so this one needs to be put across the room so I don't keep working on the wrong thing. Okay, so this is the book I ended up with, and I want to show you that it's like 9.5 and a little bit more, and sometimes it's a little bit less. And you know, these are cheap books that's thrown together. And, you know, so I decided to hopefully get this straight. You know, it's not easy. I usually make sure I'm lined up here on the bottom. And then if I'm off on top and bottom, I usually don't. But I just push it up against the black tape as much as I can. But when I do that, this paper was wonky. Or the book is wonky because this is square. But you can see here that it looks like it's not. I cut 2 sheets of paper trying to make sure that was square. And I was like, no more. It's either going to be square or it's not going to be square. So I say do it like this and hope for the best. Now, I am going to try using, and hopefully I don't regret it, double-sided tape. The person I saw do this used double-sided tape, and it just looked a whole lot easier. But I will tell you, it will help you get close to the edges, because you do need to get close to the edges. Just put it on there and around all 4 sides, and then I just kind of do an X in the middle. Okay, so you just line it up as close to the sides as you can. And if I don't like the way this, you know, if I have to wrestle this down too much, I will, there we go. I will end up just using glue. But, you know, the glue's so expensive. This isn't much cheaper. Because, I mean, you could practically use a roll of this just doing this book. There's a lot of gluing. And then I'm just going to do like this. Just like that. Now, when you do the crisscross, you got to take this one off to cross over. Or you have to just do some small pieces, whichever works best for you. Okay, now after this is probably going to be the hardest one to do because you want the cover to be perfect, you know. Not that that's going to be easy, but I am going to take all this on the center part off. And you can take one piece at a time and work your way down so that you know you're going to have it straight. But in this situation, it's a little different. So my goal is to get you know, to lay it down as straight as I can before I actually let go of it. So I'm taking the tape off. I might as well just charge after it here and make sure, you know, I can get that correct. Okay, now this is how I want to do it. I'm going to stand up and hopefully you guys, I don't know where that glare's coming from. Let's see. Yeah, it must be the lamp. It must be the light above, and I can't go without that. I wouldn't be able to see anything. Okay, so my goal is to see, this is where it's hard. I get nervous. Where am I going to put it? Where am I going to put it? So kind of keep it up everywhere. Line it up at the bottom. And see, it wants to stick. And then line it up at the top. And listen, I'm going to have gaps. Like I have a little gap right here because the paper is not square. I told you, you know, I was telling you the paper is not square. Because the other portion is right up here in this section. So this is, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. If I want, I can put a strip here. Okay, down here, I'll just trim the actual composition book to be even with my paper. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So we've got this side right here that you can see there's some little hangover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here where it's hanging over. I'm going to trim it off. And I'm going to bring it around. It's crazy. And I'm going to trim straight down here because there's a little bit hanging off. You want it as flush as you can get it. If I can get this going here. Come on, come on. Okay, that's as close as we're going to get. You want to make sure that you press down on all the edges so that you're able to make it hold. Now I'm going to trim around this corner. I would do one corner at a time. I wouldn't try to double the corners up. And, you know, to each their own. You have to keep turning the book in order to get, I'm trying to get this to, yeah. This takes quite a while to make. You need to just have a good Saturday or a good full morning. You know, I think I spent probably 3 or 4 hours on the other one. Now, if you don't like the way your scissors trimmed, you can ink. Like, it's not a perfect project by no means, but it's fun. And this is a great thing for teenage girls even. I think it's too advanced for younger girls without you doing most of it. But it's something that teenage girls can do and moms can do with teenage girls. So this section right here, I'm going to try to trim some of the composition book. If I have a place to put my... Okay. My desk is crazy, as usual. All right, so right here, I've got a good, strong pair of scissors, and so I haven't done this on any of the others that I've made, but I want to, that is a thicker cardboard, but I still can see a little bit, but I want it to look where it's, you know, like I tried to match it up well. Okay, now at this point, you want to get your bone folder, or I recommend you use your bone folder to each their own. You don't have to if you don't want to. And I'm just going to go around these edges and press it down, because you want to be careful not to tear your paper, but that will keep all the edges down. I just thought I did one book with Fabri-Tac, and I just thought, well, I'll just do this book with whatever. So I'm going to do this side, and after we do this side, I thought we'd decorate the front. Okay, now see, some reason whenever I cut that, I don't know if you can tell there, it left it a little kind of white. So I'm just going to cover up that little thing the scissors did. You don't have to cover up. I mean, I didn't in the other book. I didn't have to. Now, I don't know why this is not sticking. Did I forget to take some tape off? Yes, I did. What a dummy. I'm like, why isn't this sticking? And I forgot to take the tape off of this particular side. And I may be stuck and may have to put some Fabri-Tac in there. That's what I'll do. I'll just dump some Fabri-Tac down in there. Be sure you take all your tape covers off. Off your double-sided adhesive, or you're going to be in a pickle like me. And now I'm probably going to have glue seep out. And believe it or not, I didn't have much seepage before, and I'm going to have pages glued together too if you're not careful. I had that experience, but here it goes. Yep, see it coming out? That's because I didn't have, I didn't use because I had to put it on the very edge. Let me get this wipey out, the last one in this package, it looks like. But when you start wiping this off with your hands, you gotta have something. Okay. But you also want to be pushing and making sure everything is sealing. See, look at that, how messy. Messy, messy. You can see from the camera, I'm sure, right there where I might need to put some clips to hold that, because I don't want us to have to spend our whole time working on that page. I won't let that happen again. I've learned my lesson. Okay. Mainly, I want to make sure I don't get any on my front cover. I'm not worried about the cardboard behind it, but I am more concerned about my front cover right there. Okay. Looks like it's holding pretty good, so maybe we can move on. Okay. All right. Let's see. Now, the inside cover is the next portion. What did I do with my paper? Always look on the back where you wrote where it goes. That way you don't have to worry about sticking it in the wrong spot. Now, you can cover as far up here as you want, but you know that this has a rounded kind of spine, and it will lift if you do. So I'm just kind of putting it on all the way to the left and just leaving that as a no man's land too. Okay, so now let me get my tape and get busy. Okay, you want to always press this adhesive down well enough that you know it's sticking to your paper, because when you pull up your when you go to pull up your pull your top off, you'll feel the difference if you don't. Okay, so I don't do anything fancy with this stuff. Okay. Okay, let's see. Now we got the other two sides. I should have put this on everything before we did video, guys. But we'll do as much as we can of it. And then I'll bring it back and show it to you. I don't think it's worthy of 2 total videos, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, now I'm going to start taking these off. Do sides, and then I'll do the top and bottom. Catch this along the way. Yeah, sometimes if you don't have this rubbed down really good, it will lift your tape. And that's why I said to make sure you rub it down real good before you actually put it on. Or after you actually put it on. Okay, now I'm going to start out here to the left, holding this up with my right hand. And making sure, because once this is down, it's down, just like that. It can tear your paper. It's super strong. I'll put that on the inside. See, it even ripped part of that, just that tiny bit. So if you don't think you can actually do this, this part like this, I would definitely use glue. That gives you some time to move it around. Now, as you can see right here, see the black line? I don't like that. I do not like that. I might have to add a stripe of something there. But I think we're going to go on. Oh, we got to trim this little corner. Okay. All right. Got that nice and straight. I'm just going to push this down on each edge. Oh, wrong thing. I'm working on the wrong thing. Old lady. Think I could remember. Old lady. So I hope you guys are having a good Thursday. Mine has been a little busy, or I would have already had this done. Now it's like 10 till 9. And here I am working on this crazy thing with you guys. But I did prep it. And what I say to you is measure as you go. Measure as you go. Okay, now we're going to go to the back. It goes really pretty fast if you cut everything first. And that's definitely what I recommend you doing. Now this is going to be the back of my cover, and it's going to show a little bit too. I'm telling you, when you take it back to your trimmer to just trim off a smidgen, and that's all you trim off is a smidgen, it comes back and it starts showing little edges, which I don't like. Just so you know, this is the back of the cover, and I thought these two would look good together. And they come out of the same book. Okay, now let's put our tape on. Haven't had any major disasters yet. So I just discovered when I was on Facebook that my son's business got flooded. We had about an hour worth of rain come through, and it rained so much, so fast. Well, it wasn't even an hour. It was more like 30 minutes, because I sitting here thinking, why am I getting a flood notice? It just started raining. Well, it was raining heavy. People's cars were going off the highways. They had to close one highway. It's just so much water in the ground, and that, you know, it's not cool. But anyway, spoke to my sweet little niece whose house was completely flooded, and everything was damaged. Their clothes, everything. It's as if they've been in a fire. And my little niece has MS. And so I worry about her overdoing anyway. It's in remission right now. And, but it doesn't take a lot to, you know, kickstart stuff like that. Anyway, her house was completely under, and they now have all this damage, and not sure if FEMA's going to do anything. Can you believe that? FEMA's there, but FEMA says they make too much money. She's like, I'd like to know where the money is. I don't think they make too much for FEMA. I think that they're just trying not to loan any more than they have to, because it's such a huge amount of people. I think they're just being a little stricter than normal. So my husband's going to try to fix the electrical for them. And some friends are actually adult friends, older friends, you know, parents of a friend came in and tore out the sheetrock and is putting new sheetrock in. But she told me on the phone just a few minutes ago that it's completely gutted and all the mud's out, but still you can't use anything with mold. She was asking me if there was some sweet ladies, I guess, from her church that took all their clothes and washed them like 10 times. And they are clean. They don't smell like mold. But she was asking me whether or not that would be safe. And you know, honestly, our clothes didn't get damaged because ours, we had everything up. They didn't have time to put stuff up. It happened, you know, fast. So, I don't know why that part. Oh, I can tell you my vision's not great, girls. Couldn't even see that had already been pulled off. Should I worry about myself? I'm kidding. It's called not being, I'm determined I'm not going to wear my glasses. That's what it's called. Okay, so this is the back cover. We want to make sure, of course, this is, either way you put it, it's upright. So hold it up on whatever end you don't want to, let's see. You want to make sure the corner, I start in a corner. Can you guys see that? Okay, I start in a corner. And make sure it's going to be flush, you know, with this end. And it looks like it's going to fit, but it looks like it's longer than it needs to be. You know what? I don't know why it's that long. That's crazy. I'm just going to stick it down. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But see, even though I got all this really well, it's still showing that it's slightly short. It didn't whenever I cut it. It's frustrating. I have found out by using a dark paper like this, when you cut, you know, the inside is got the white guts in it. I'm sorry, not guts. Inside the paper is white for the inside part of the paper. And now I'm going to trim this because I don't like the way that looks. Okay, now I'm going to trim this right here because I don't like it. I want it to show big old black stripes. And I had to trim the one in the front too. I think if there was a project I ever made that I didn't run into some kind of problem, it'd be unusual. You know how it is whenever you, make something you haven't made before, although I've made this before. It is, you know, you run into things when you're making homemade stuff. Nothing's ever perfect. You can make it one time and it goes well, and the next time, not so much. Okay. See, this is really more like just cutting the corner off. I wished I'd realized that in the first one I made. Okay, I'm not going to worry about all these little things like this. I'll just go back and take care of those later, you know, because I still need to trim that one off too, because that will slow us down, and I want to be able to show you how it all comes together. Now, you do need to take your bone folder and snish it down. I always worry I'll get some kind of shoddy double-sided adhesive. This is definitely sticky. You want to rub it down in the middle too, because you never know. Okay, so that's the back. We've got the front, we've got the second page. Now we're going to do this page, and I hope this paper is wide enough. It's not. I wonder if I stuck the wrong one. Let's use this one then. Let me see. Yeah, that one's long enough. I may be picking up the wrong paper for some things. Okay. Let's try this again. Also, you can put your tape onto your project and then lay your paper on top, but it still gives you the same sort of problem. Yeah, this one's going to be a perfect fit. Praise the Lord. Inside back. It's because I was putting the wrong one on that other one. Didn't I tell you? Don't do what I say. Don't do what I do. Do what I ask you. So my mom used to say. The reason I'm saying that is, like, I did not look at that one to see where it went. I thought it went on the back. That's how I remembered the navy. It did. I just had picked up the wrong one for this back cover. I hope this isn't boring, you guys. I'm doing the tape as fast as I can. I know the tape does kind of slow you down, but I will tell you, after doing the glue this afternoon, you want to do the tape if you can. If you can't, that's no big deal. I just, you know, it wants to ooze out. You don't put very much and it still wants to ooze out. So you're cleaning up a lot of glue. You know, when you put 2 pages together, it does kind of make a difference. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now, get this off of me. Okay, come off of there. One side sometimes is easier than the other side to pull the top paper off. I use a lot of, when I say I use a lot, I used to use a lot of double-sided adhesive when I'd scrapbook my grandkids' pages because I didn't want them to come apart. I didn't know about really that much about Fabri-Tac at the time, or I would have just got that and put on the back of the pictures. It would have been easier, less time consuming. Okay, so now I'm going to find a place to put this book where we can all see. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line it up on the edge. Okay, well, it's down. See what I mean? Man, I'm glad I had that in the right spot. I was going to move it up and move it up this way a little bit more, but nope, I guess I'm not. Okay, I just got lucky on that one. I will tell you right now, I just got lucky. Okay, so I'm going to rub those down, and you can see right here at the bottom there's a little bit of white. So you may have a better way to do this, and that's great if you do. But I don't generally cover stuff like this. Now, I do make albums. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I do make albums and decorate them. I buy a lot of albums that's already made, and then I decorate those as well. So I've got a little bit of experience with gluing things on, but usually they're more precise with their size than this stuff is. This corner is not consistent either. Okay, and right here, let's do this one first. Right here we got a little bit of the book showing. So, yeah, I hope I didn't stick my head in your face just then. Sorry, guys. All right, so I'm going to get some of this junk off my desk. So, page 1, page 2, the back cover, and the very back cover. So these will be the 4 main covers, and then now we're going to go to, we're only going to probably do whatever our time allows, but we might not get all the dividers done. But we'll do the first one. I'll show you how it goes and see how much time we have after that. But I thought we'd decorate the front real quick because I want you to be able to see that for sure. Okay, what did I do with the front? I put it in a stack over here. Now, The other one had a smaller card that like this, but the reason this one doesn't is because I'm going to use glue on this so I can go faster, so I can show you more maybe. I don't know which one's easier, glue or my thing when I do the glue is I like to try to make sure I get the corners, so you don't have a corner sticking up and getting bent. Okay. Anyway, this is square, so you're just going to have a little bit of black around each side, and once you put it down you want to straighten it up, make sure you have equal amounts. I thought that was perfectly square, but we're kind of looking like we have more on that side. That is so weird. Maybe it's my paper, or maybe it's the nut behind the screwdriver. Or the nut behind that. How's that go? I don't remember, guys. Doesn't pay for me to try to crack a joke, because it's not going to be funny, and I'm not going to remember the whole thing. Okay, so we're going to just trim a little tiny bit of this off because I want it to look right when it's all said and done. Okay, now this is the top. We want to make sure we have the top on there correct. Okay, so then like I said, I didn't ink any of these pieces. I'm going to save the top smallest piece. I'm going to look here and make sure where I want that. That looks close enough. And then I'm going to glue this down. And hopefully when I put it back down, it'll be in the right spot as well. Okay. Keep your fingers crossed that I can lay it down in the right spot. And that everything's flush on the top and the bottom. The thing is when you rub it, that's when it wants to move around too, when you use the liquid text or Fabri-Tex. Trying to hold it up to see if it's straight. I guess it's good enough. Okay, now we're going to do this in the center as well. Now you could use on the rims of the bottom one here, you could use a trimmer, well, it's not a trimmer, a border punch, and it would probably look good too. I just didn't have one like I wanted, and I have just a few. I don't want to get in the big middle of having a million of those, you know. It's hard enough to store them when you're not using them as it is. Okay, so I went over the edge right here. So you know what that means. We're going to have a glue issue here at some point. Okay, so I'll just clean it up when it happens. Okay, we're going to center this one on top of the pink one. So basically we're doing the same thing here that we did with the big one. We're just doing it in two colors. And you want to check along the way to make sure you don't have seepage. If you wait too long, it will dry and you won't be able to get it off. Just FYI. So I don't have as much as I thought I would, so that's good. Usually you can feel it if you run your finger across it. And my little eraser will just take it right off. Okay, so now you always want to make sure too that you're not gluing your cover to your papers. Because I know I felt glue up here. Let's get that off. That would just end up sticking to something. All right, now, got to make sure those edges are down. Okay, looking good so far. Okay, so the next step is to, let me find my, here it is. I'm going to take this and hope that I do it right the first time. Do you know what I'm saying? We're going to trim this floral out. This is not a solid border punch like, you know, like you think of. Sorry if it's noisy. It's a, it cuts a row of flowers. So it is, you do put it along, you can put it along your border, but you can do whatever you want with it, really. Okay, so let's see how far in we want to go here. That looks right. You want to follow the guide on the side of this to make sure you don't miss any, because if you do, you have to start over. And line them up perfect or they'll be wonky. But what I love, look, leaves you a lot of confetti. What I love about this is how the bottom and the top of this are perfect for however you're gonna, whatever size book you have. See, so it's perfect. Or I can start it up here. I could have done another mat, it looks like. Yeah, I'm going to do it like that. Now, I did use my adhesive sticker maker to do this because I did not want to wrestle with this thing not fitting. And oh great, I just pulled that in crooked. Well, hopefully we don't tear it. Yeah, it's not wanting to come in. Oh, maybe it'll straighten up. Oh, Paula, Paula, Paula. Only on a video do you have trouble. And I pulled that one way too far. I thought it was at the end. Oh, 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 what can I say? Okay, so now, just pull it off gently. Throw the sticky portion in the trash. And, yeah, it bent a little bit right there, so it might not be covered in glue in that spot. Yeah, it's very true, it's not. So I'm going to put some glitter glue on here. Just on this little area since it's got a small tip on it. It just had a section there that was not flat on the sticker maker. Now, you will discover with the sticker maker that they're hard to find anymore. I guess you could go on Amazon and order, but I know Hobby Lobby still carries the refills. But I don't know why they would go out of style, because they're so nice to use when you're wanting to. You want to make sure you're centering this when you're putting it on. And then you have to use your adhesive remover when you're done, because you do have control of this. Just so you know. It doesn't just lay down and stick and you never can get it up. It doesn't do bad. It has a lot of adhesive on it. So what I do, let me make sure this doesn't look straight down here, and it's not. We'll see if it comes up. Yeah, you got to be very careful though. It went off to the right for some reason. There we go. That's better. Now, what I do is once I know it's all down, I just take my fingers gently. Now, it looks like I'm not being gentle. Because I know it's all stuck down, nothing is up on its edge. It's safe to do that, but I want to show you. You get a bunch of these little glue balls like you do with the, and I just laid it in a bunch of glue balls. It's because I don't have very much room on my desk, and glue balls are everywhere. See all these that came off of it? Yeah. Scooting those over to no man land. Okay. And I'll get them off better, but this is doesn't have near the glue on it as it did. So I'm going to lay this where it's going to go so I know where I have to scrub a little bit. I want it to show at least a whole flower on the top. So this portion up here, still want to be gentle with this because it can tear your paper, the top layer off your paper. But this is why I initially bought this, was so that I could get any adhesive that would be on my die cuts off my paper. And so I'm just gonna do a little bit here. I got most of it off when I rubbed it. Just a little bit more. And I will end up coming back to that and doing a better job. Okay. See if I can keep it out of this glue. Okay. Now, we want to put the adhesive. This is foam tape from Walmart. They sell it in a pack. And you have adhesive on one side and you have to use glue on the other side to glue it on to whatever. You want to center it. I cut it smaller so you can't see it as well. And I didn't have any black, so I had to end up using blue, which is pretty bright. I need to get some. I'm getting low. So this is going to look different than the other one because this tag is so big. But you want to center it up and over. So you're centering from here to here. We're going to add some glue. I want to make sure this is glued down good. This will give it some texture by popping it up. And it also will slide around until it dries. So give it a few minutes to dry. That way you don't have to worry. I just wipe that glue. Look at that. Look at that big blob of glue all over me. Goodness gracious. Let's see. Okay. I think I like it right there. I'm sorry if you can hear Sadie barking. My husband's on the phone with my son talking about his flood in his shop. And Sadie does not like not getting the attention she wants while Daddy's on the phone. I was on the phone with my niece, you know, seeing if they needed anything and so forth. And she would not shut up. She barked the whole time, wanting me to take her baby. She has this thing. She can't jump up on the couch, but she can jump off. But we found out from the vet the other day that her kneecap, her right kneecap is out of place, and it's, you know, it's weak. It's always going to be that way. We found out. Isn't that lovely? She said they can fix it by surgery, or we can wait till it causes problems. Well, I'm not going to give her a surgery unless she needs it. You know, I say if she can get through it without problems, that's better. Okay, now we're going to set this aside, let it dry. And in the meantime, I thought we could put this together. Now this is going to be the pocket. Now I'm going to show you what I did. I just cut this into a square as wide as I wanted it. And I did 4.5 inches tall, and I think 5.5 inches wide, or 5 3/4, or maybe even 6 inches wide. And that allowed me to have my hinges on each side. So then I just flipped it over. I flipped it over and scored right here, and right here. And then just trimmed the corners and trimmed the edge right here and here. And then just did a little half moon, just like we do in our albums, our scrapbook, oh crud, in our journals. Yes, I am a little crazy. Okay, let's go ahead and just put some, let's see if it's the same width first. No, it's a little bit smaller, I think. Probably take me forever to get this on. Hopefully not. Okay, so I'm just going to lay it right here and line it up the best you can. If you have any hangover, you can just trim it off before you pull the topping off. Definitely before you pull the topping off, because it won't be sticky then. And then you just rub it down really good so you know it's going to stay, and then trim it off just like that. Makes for an easy way to put it on your pocket. Okay, now let's see. So I thought what we might do is bring this down further. I was going to put it as a stripe up there, or a strip of design, but now I'm thinking maybe we'll do this. I think that's the right way. So we're going to put this more down toward the middle, just barely up from the middle. If I can get the cover of the tape off. Now I'm going to stand up so I can put that on straight, because you only have one chance. Okay. Because once it's down, it's down. Got a little bit of a hangover here on the side, so we'll just trim that. I would say for newbies to use glue. I think using the double-sided adhesive is harder, and if you're brand new at using double-sided tape, you don't want to use it, you know, until you have to. Okay, so now I'm just going to add Fabri-Tac to this. All right, let's get that glued, and then we're going to have to stop after this. And maybe we can come back and finish it. I think we'll just finish it in a second video, guys. That way you don't miss anything. There's still too much left. Yeah, we're over an hour. If I don't cut it at this time, someone won't be happy. I try to stay right at an hour because there's people that really don't even want you to go an hour. And I'm finding out that I'm not the only one that's being said to. But you do what you got to do, and I can't make anything in less than an hour, and I push it most of the time to get that done. So that's all I can do. I'm not going to edit these tapes because it takes 2 or 3 hours to upload them to YouTube. And believe me, that's a long time. So like what I do, like if I do my video at night like this, then I have to put it on as soon as I get through with my video to upload, and hope that, you know, it will. Okay, so we've got our pocket, which is going to go right in here. Okay, and then we'll start the rest of the process. So I hope you had fun. I thought it was fun doing something different, and look how pretty they are. I probably will end up putting both of these in my Etsy shop because I do have more, and I may make one more, and so that, you know, I can put in 3 and give more people the opportunity to buy one if they want to. And yeah, because they're adorable, super adorable. So you don't want to miss out on those. If you don't have the stuff or the time to make them, I am going to put 3 of them in my Etsy shop. Okay guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and please share so we can get more subscribers. We've gotten 2 this week, which that's awesome, but I'd love to see it be like it, you know, I've seen it before, and I need your help to do that. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video for part 2 of doing the composition book. All right guys, welcome new subbies. Bye.